On behalf of the staff and faculty of College View Academy and our incredible class of 2023, it's my privilege and pleasure to welcome you here tonight. We're glad that you came to begin this celebration of this weekend, this graduation weekend of this class. We want you to know, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, friends, we're proud of this class. To jump in, if you think about it, their freshman year in high school, fourth quarter was wiped out with COVID. And then it continued to haunt, but they have persevered, they have made it through, they've come to this weekend, and we're proud of them and what they've accomplished. So welcome, glad that you're here tonight.
We're going to have prayer. Neil Fable. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for all things you have done for us. Thank you that we are all here and able to celebrate, and everyone's here to celebrate with the senior class, and for all things you've helped us done, like graduate. That was really hard. And thank you for this day. In Jesus' name, amen.
I Thank you so much for your kind words you placed in your letter. It is uplifting in itself, yet I am more uplifted simply by you on a day-to-day basis. I was not sure what I would find here at CVA and honestly considered turning down the job offer, but I am glad I did not. You and people like you have made my experience at CVA great and brought peace to my decision to come. This is a letter that Mr. Prindle wrote to me in 7th grade at the end of the year, as he did for the rest of the class. We were his first class he taught in CVA, and we quickly became his favorite and him our favorite. I don't remember learning a single thing in his class, but he taught us how to be kind human beings and to have fun, so it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Prindle.
Thanks, Gabrielle. Just a quick that has nothing to do with tonight. I'm not selling Yorkie puppies or furniture, okay? Just so everyone knows. This class, they make me smile so much. I don't know that I remember a whole lot. Of course, I don't really remember what I say on a day-to-day basis, but I do remember that my first year at CVA was very joyous. I remember lots of smiles, lots of laughter. And I have you guys to thank for that. And it's just crazy. You know, I wore the same suit last night. It needs to get cleaned very soon. But maybe more soon than I recognize. Like last night, I was feeling my pockets, and it's like, oh, here's a nice card that Chloe Pierce had made for me last night. I was like, that was very nice. Then driving over today, I'm like, man, something else is in my pocket. And I don't know if anyone else has coats and stuff that they pull stuff out of, and then they're like, I'm just going to put that right back. And then, like, you have stuff in there that's like 10 years old. I pulled out. He's not in the class anymore, but I have, for some reason, Joshua Caleb Butler's 8th grade photo just like tucked away. And it's going back. It's just going to live there a while. And it's crazy. It's crazy. You know, I've never seen what I would call my people, and students are my kind of people. And I've never had the ability or the privilege to really see them go beyond. If you work in education, it's kind of a bittersweet thing because like you get like super close, like, yeah, and then they like leave, and you're like, oh, all right. Next batch, oh yeah, and then they leave too. And it's this constant like coming together and then release, and coming together and release. And I'm kind of learning that's what parenting is like too. It's crazy. And so it's been such an honor and a privilege to share time with you guys in Hawaii, to see you from time to time as you're at high school, and now to watch you graduate. The first time I've been able to do that in 16 years, to watch someone accomplish that. And so it's just so awesome to be here. It is truly crazy how things change. I had the privilege also to talk to this group in their 8th grade graduation, talk to them about how quickly life changes. And it's okay if you don't remember that. I do, and I don't know why. But life changes quickly, and we talked a little bit about the reality of Jesus and all he is and how to stay focused there. But man, life has changed, or at least kind of. You know, I mean, this class, as I got to hang out with them a little while ago back in Hawaii, I learned there's still a lot of things that are still very true about them. Still extremely strong personalities, even stronger opinions. Over-the-top amounts of confidence. I've never met a more confident class. Like, you guys should see some surfing videos. They're fantastic. Just all over and over again. But anyway, lots of persistence. All of these things are still very, very present. But a lot of things have changed. I mean, I don't see anyone here with homemade slime. Though if you would like some, there's still some on my ceiling in my classroom if you'd like to come and have some. I don't see anyone trying to, not that I'm around when you do it, but I don't hear of students anymore like, can you take a picture with my phone tonight in the dark? I can't lose my streak. I don't know if you guys are still trying to get streaks or not, but they were very important many years ago, so hopefully life has moved you to whatever the next phase is. You're driving now, so that's changed, right? I see you with either fast food, and that's weird because your parents didn't bring it to you. That or you mooched it from someone, in which case never change that. But you should probably stop eating so much food off each other. If you guys don't know this class, maybe I shouldn't tell you that part. It's a little scary. I tell you, things have changed, life changes, and it just kind of takes you along with it as you go. And I mean, I guess the one thing I admire about you guys is, when you study change, they always break it up into percentages. Like, this percentage will just dive into the new and just go with it. And I feel like that's your guys' class in a lot of ways. And then they talk about there's the class that will eventually, or the group that will eventually change. And then there's the group that will always come kicking and screaming no matter what the change is. They just never want to change, But change is scary for a lot of people. And it was scary for me when I came here, there's no doubt. I'll talk about that in a little bit. But I want to talk to you a little bit about what life was like for me 16 years ago. I remember a season of change. I had arrived at college graduation, which is supposed to be super exciting because I went to preschool as a 3-year-old, so that's kind of like all I remember is school my whole life. And then it was like the day before graduation, I was in my new apartment, first apartment. I had a couch, a TV, a PlayStation 2, and a guitar. I don't really need anything else still to this day. But anyway, that's what I had back then. I was about to graduate, and I remember sitting down in my living room like, I'm going to sit down and write a song. And I expected it to be a joyous song, like freedom and life and yeah, and all this cool stuff. And instead, the partial song I wrote, because I never finished it, was this. I'm not going to sing it for you. But it's, all my roads have ended here. Nothing left but my fear. To the left or to the right, it all seems so indifferent tonight. But I'm moving down the highway. I don't know where I'm going. Only God knows where I'll be. I'm moving down the highway, and all my bags are packed with a little bit of insanity. I'm not saying it's great writing. I'm not saying it's a great song, but I am telling you that's how I felt when I was graduating college, that I don't know what's next. My life was about to change, and it didn't even matter if the next change was positive. It was just the fact that it was going to change. I mean, actually, I was about to graduate. I was going to get my teaching degree. Like a week or two? I think it was 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, I was going to get married. Like, those are all like good changes, and yet it felt unsettled and uncertain. I mean, I had my teaching degree, and I lined up the best job at Red Robin, serving tables. Oh, to have the teacher market of 2007, Couldn't find a job then. By the way, College View Academy, if you want to apply, we're looking for teachers. We'd love to have you. But man, that's what I was doing. I took my hard-earned education and I served burgers to the best of my ability. It was crazy. It's this feeling of being on to the next thing, right? For some, again, it's invigorating. For others, it's daunting. But to everyone, change is almost never like you expect it to be. Change is never what you expect it to be. And as I look back on my life and the different things that I've gone through, the only thing that I think I maybe got right in that weird, pitiful song I wrote in my living room that day, or half song again, was, I truly don't know where I'm going, still don't. And only God truly knows where I'll be. And that's not because I'm some dust in the wind or some rolling stone. It's not like I'm just moving from place to place, okay? And that's not a statement that I'm hoping to move. I'm hoping to stay here a long time. It's just the reality that life changes and things come that you're not really ready for. Changes can be positive. Again, maybe you'll have close relationships, job opportunities, cool hobbies that will come up. But then sometimes life changes and brings maybe some death in your life or some injuries or some other things that you're like, you did not expect this. And change then becomes inevitable. I cannot completely control my future. It's one of the most frustrating parts about change. I didn't see coming the life that I have lived. I can look back and see Jesus, my friend, acting on my behalf. I won't go through all the stops because, I could go through and talk about boarding school and the change from like leaving my house to living at school. I could talk about that. But again, I'll just kind of continue from this part I started. So got married and I ran out to the job market. And again, there was no job for me. So I substitute taught in Lincoln Public Schools. I worked Red Robin. I worked at a place called the Lincoln Racquet Club. And I got to play basketball and then jungle gyms for a living. That was pretty cool. Didn't bring in a lot of money, but it was really fun, And then I got my first crack at a teaching job. And I may have told you guys this story before. But I was working at the Lincoln Racquet Club, and this principal came in from Raymond Central Public Schools. There's a town called Valparaiso near here. Maybe you've heard of it. We all live here. It's not that far from here, but it's okay if you haven't. 400 people live there. And the principal showed up and said, we have an oversized kindergarten class, and we need another teacher. And I don't know what I was doing, but apparently people were smiling enough. They said, that guy seems good with kids. And I got an interview, and I got a job teaching kindergarten. And the caveat that was weird for me is I remember substitute teaching as a really eye-opening experience because I experienced everything from newborn babies. That was the most odd lesson plan I'd ever had. I showed up. It's like feed, change diapers. I'm like, how did I get this job today? All the way to seniors in high school. I taught the whole age range. And when I was done, there was something I knew for sure. Lord, never kindergarten. And never 7th grade. Not as funny, but I said it, and it was true. That's how I felt. Kindergarten was way too hard because I don't like to always be so rigid and structured in my life, and that's how they live. And so I would come in like, let's do this today. And they're like, we don't do that, Mr. Prindle. Like, oh, my word. And at the age of 22, I couldn't handle just 7th grade estrogen at that moment in my life. But weirdly enough, I got that job teaching kindergarten, and I showed up, and they're like, you know what? You want to teach 7th grade girls basketball? I'm like, what? No, I don't want to do this, all right? So change happened. I tell you, I love teaching kindergarten. Those guys are awesome. It was so much fun. I had a wonderful year, but at the end of that year, they decided, you know what, Casey, I mean, you're pretty cool, but we don't need your services anymore. Technically, it was a cutback, technically. Still felt like getting fired. But, change. I didn't look for that. I had gotten my first job. I'm staying right here. This is my life now. No, it's not. My wife, who I got married to, when we were dating, she's like, hey, I'm going to go be a student missionary over in Mazrell. Hope you're cool with that. Like, yeah, I'd love to date long distance for a year. That's fun. Anyway, so that was terrible. But we made it, technically. We did. We're married, right? So she's... Whew. But, you know, when she came back, she had all this experience and had been new places and saw new things. And she's like, you want to get married? I'm like, yeah, I do. She's like, tell me that you're okay going overseas at some point. Maybe. I'm like, hypothetically, yes. Never happened. American homeboy right here. I'm staying put. You know? Not happening. And I don't have a job. And she graduates Union College. And so she shows up and it's like, what are we going to do? She's like, overseas? I'm like, oh, shoot. That's not what I want to do. You know, I'm dragging this out too long. I was told I shouldn't take too long, but I'm going to. So I got a job teaching 5th and 6th grade, and it was amazing how that's what I needed. Because when you get let go of a job, even if it's as a cutback, it cuts something in here. It just does. At least it did for me. And I won't tell you who it was, but in that experience, that first school, despite loving every bit of it, I was told, you know what, maybe you shouldn't be a teacher. Maybe that's not for you. And the stats, not that it matters. Teaching's awesome, by the way. I'm not trying to downplay it. But like 40 to 50% of people leave the profession in the first 3 years. It's crazy. And it might be because of stuff like that. You're learning and all this stuff, and then maybe you shouldn't be it. And I'm like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't. And then I get this job, and I go over to this school, and I start teaching 5th and 6th graders, and it was just such a blast, and I had a good time. And all of a sudden, I felt reaffirmed, like, wow, I never envisioned being on this island. I never envisioned teaching these grades, and I never expected to be affirmed that, God, that's okay. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Fast forward, went to Colorado, did that for 6 years, was happy, started a family, and then I got a call from one Mr. Brian Carlson. What do you think about 7th grade, man? Oh, I don't know. I came and visited these guys. They brought them into a room. They sat them down. They stared at me. I get that a lot, actually, as a middle school teacher. But, I mean, it was just one of those things. I'm like, do I want to do this? I don't know. And I'm so glad I did. You never know what change will bring. Life will keep changing as it goes. Now, senior class, I apologize for referencing 7th grade so much because I know some of you have joined later. But you guys have been a joy in my life, and so have the classes that have followed you. Coming to CVA has been great. And I really believe that God has brought us together for a time and a purpose together. because we impact one another, right? The change is inevitable, and so I know you've impacted my life, and I pray that I've impacted yours and the ones that I've worked with thereafter. But change comes, and you don't know what's coming. And the reality is we're all about to change again, right? I haven't deeply gone through everyone and asked what your next steps are, but I talked to enough of you to recognize that not everyone is going to the same place. Life's about to change again. And I'm sure some of you are like super excited and some of you are not so excited. You're probably getting tired already. Like, what you gonna do with your life? Like, I don't know. And then you feel really awkward sitting next to that person that's known since they were like come out of the womb, and it's just like, I don't understand, you know? Life's about to change. Life's about to change. My life's about to change too. We're all going through this change. And so here's what I learned about change a little bit, though, that I want to share with you tonight. As everything changes around you and I, the most important thing for us is to recognize what is the constant. I'm definitely not a dancer, but as I've tried to make it up as I'm dancing with little children as they're growing up in my living room, I learned that when you're doing that spinny thing for a long time, and you start to like fall over, maybe you've never experienced that, in which case you should try it. Just don't drop the child. But like, when you do it, you start to learn like, wow, I'm about to fall over, and someone taught me a trick. Well, what you got to do is you got to focus on a point, and as you turn, you do the thing. And then you won't get so dizzy all the time. And it's I believe the same is true about life. You know, as life keeps changing and moving and changing and moving, what is your focal point? What is the thing that does not change? You know these verses. Hebrews 13, verse 8, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. Malachi 3:6, the Lord does not change. Seniors, as you move forward, I hope you take things with you that you have learned from the people in your life. Because again, we all influence each other. We all make marks on each other. A little bit later this evening, we're going to do tributes. Recognize the people that have been foundational in your life. And I hope you remember what they've taught you. If you don't mind, I'd like to attempt to sing a song sort of to you and half with you, or not even half. I'm only going to ask you guys to sing like a couple verses, okay? Don't worry, you don't know it, and that'll be fine. But I'm gonna do my best here. If you want a better rendition later, well, actually, we're going to be the best. But if you want to, listen to professionals do it, you should look up Brandon Lake and Thomas Rhett later. Man, your sound person's amazing. He's ready to go back there. But the song is about talking to Jesus, okay? About being that constant in your life. And about how we influence each other. Everyone from the people who've raised you up, and then one day you're going to be the influence, but that what is the message you share? And that is, as life changes, just keep talking to Jesus. Pause, please. That did not sound right. There you are. All right, that's going to have to be good enough. All right, here's talking to Jesus. Grandma used to pray out loud by her bed every night. To me it sounded like mumbling, like she was out of her mind. She said, boy, this kind of praying is what saved my life. You ought to try it sometime. And now I know she was right. She was talking to Jesus. She was talking to Jesus. She was talking to Jesus for all of her life. Mama used to drag me to church Saturday mornings and Wednesday nights. Khaki pants and a polo shirt. Boy, I put up a fight. She said, son, one day you'll thank me for having God in your life. Yeah, I know she was right. My mama was right, 'cause now I'm talking to Jesus. Now I'm talking to Jesus. She She's got me talking to Jesus. My mama was right. Now I'm talking to Jesus. Yeah, I'm talking to Jesus. I'm talking to Jesus for the rest of my life. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Oh. Try what a friend with me. We'll do it later. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Oh. One more time. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Oh. There's no wrong way to do it. There's no bad time to start. It don't have to sound pretty. Just tell them what's on your heart. 'Cause it's not a religion. It's more like a friendship. Just talk to your Father like you are his kid. And just start talking to Jesus. Just start talking to Jesus. You can talk to Jesus whenever you like. Just start talking to Jesus. Just start talking to Jesus. Start talking to Jesus for the rest of your life. Now we're here at Piedmont. Not really an ordinary Friday night. These past few weeks have been heavy, been hard to put on a smile. I know life feels crazy, the darker days bring the light. Just keep talking to Jesus, the only way, the truth, and the light. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Oh, let's join me. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Oh, one more time. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. What a friend we have in Jesus. Oh. Change is inevitable. But there is a constant for us all. Maybe you've learned it, maybe you have yet to learn it. As I start to wrap up here, if you're looking for something to read this summer, I would encourage you picking up a book called Don't Give an Enemy a Seat at Your Table. It's by Louis Giglio. General idea, this is from Psalm 23. You've probably heard that one a little bit, Lord is my shepherd and all those things. But he takes some time in that book and he talks about a phrase that I had never heard much about. He prepares me a table before me in the presence of my enemies. It's wild. It's like all of a sudden you have this table and life is good, and yet it's still surrounded. The reality is sometimes in your life things will be chaotic there, but here's the reality. You always have a table and the attention of the one who loves you the most. You always have it. At all times, my challenge to you is you recognize that God has a place for you and desires to be your truth. He desires to be your home base. He desires to be your shoulder. And it's at that table with Him that you can remember who you are in the zone of conflict, because the reality is people will tell you other things about you. Jesus Himself went through it. He's in the wilderness and He's tempted, if you are the Son of God, if you are the Son of God, and He has to hearken back right to His time where He knows His Father says, this is my Son. God has the same thing to say about you and I at his table. Don't be afraid to go there regularly, often. Sometimes we can rationally imagine what it's like maybe to be disowned or no longer part of a family. And yet I want to leave you with this idea of God for the last time that I can share it with you, or maybe another time, but I think you know what I mean, seniors and whatnot. But God loves you like a crazy amount. He can be your constant. And that's what I desire for you. God runs to us, right? God sings over us. God takes the punishment for us that brings us peace. That's love, as it's supposed to be. So as life changes, please remember, keep talking to Jesus. He is your forever friend, and he is your true constant. Thank you, and good luck this weekend.
I want to start up this tribute by thanking my lovely mom and dad who are unable to be here today, for spoiling me unconditionally since birth, for giving me the life that you wish to have, and for being really strict and super easy at the same time. I'm so grateful that you taught me the value of hard work and determination, for always being supportive and encouraging me every single day. Thank you, Auntie and Uncle, for adopting me, giving me a second home, and taking great care of me. Thank you, Ben, for being the supportive brother who I can randomly rant about every single problem and you can still agree with whatever I say. Thanks for buying me anything that I ask for, being so patient and understanding when I have problems, and telling me exactly what to do for all of my first time. Thank you, Chivian, for being the best sister out there, giving the most neutral but useful advice and always saying, if that's what you like, then just do it. Thank you for being the inspiring person that I look up to since I was little, for your willingness to pay for everything and being my best ice cream partner. Thank you, Antu, for being the biggest brother and going with Chivian, Ben's, and my offer, for help maintaining my car to reduce the cost of maintenance for as much as you could and let me pay you back by boba or ice cream. Thank you to CVA teachers for leading me and helping from the very beginning, for being so attentive to all students. To the class of 2023, I am so grateful for having you guys in my high school years, even though there are a lot of disagreement. Our class is still the best class that I'm in. Thanks God for helping me open up more from avoiding physical touch to enjoying it. I really appreciate when we spend time together in retreat, in Hawaii, and any time that we get together in jokes. Sorry for being scary and aggressive sometimes, but that is how I show love to the people that I'm close with. Thank you, CVA, for being an unforgettable part of my life. Once again, thank you, Mom and Dad, Auntie and Uncle, Ben, my cousin, and class of 2023.
Dear Mom, Dad, Leah, and Ashley, thank you for supporting me through school, whether it was complimenting my choir performance or helping me sort out my problems when I get sad or depressed. Mom, you have been good at making me gluten-free meals which have a very good aroma, for trusting me and letting me choose biomedical science as a major for college, and for helping me with our weekend chores. Dad, you have been the funniest dad, even though most of your dad jokes aren't even that funny, and for taking me on great walks even though I don't really enjoy them, and for taking us on great trips like the Grand Canyon, which was a really great sight. Leah and Ashley, you have been the most lovable sisters I ever had, even though we get into some arguments sometimes, for helping me clear the dishwasher even though we don't like that chore, and for doing crafts with me like we all do, diamond or some painting. I enjoyed playing with our two dogs even though they get into trouble like chewing the TV remote and barking all the time. I enjoyed the times where we watched America's Funniest Home Videos and we would all laugh until our lungs fell out. I'm glad that you guys got to be my family, and I will miss all these memories as I go through my life in college.
Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for all the time you have spent on me, and the timelines we made through homeschool were so much fun. And even in high school, you made time to watch TV and football with me. Brett, brother, thanks for letting me drive your Focus. But more than that, those hours-long gaming sessions, they made you seem closer when you were in Florida. Aliena, sister, you have had to tolerate me for my entire life, but recently, hanging out with you has been a lot of fun. Although I'm sure that Taco Bell helped a bit. Kate, my sister, I loved all the times we drove our RC cars together. And that time you tried to teach me how to snowboard, we need to try that again sometime. We should definitely try to get out together more now that my cars are working better. Paul and Terry, thanks for leading all the excursions out to Boundary Waters, and as well as the days that we went out to the farm. Shooting ice blocks with the 50 cal is one of my favorite memories. Dan and Tina, I still use that sim setup every once in a while, but more than that, all those trips out to Omaha to bike, those mountain biking runs were always so fun. Grayson, you're weird. And last but not least, thanks to the whole basketball team. You have made this last year of sports memorable. I would have preferred a few more wins, but I don't think I could have asked for a better year as my last.
Dear Mother and Father, thank you for feeding me, because I am a growing boy. Thank you for supporting my interests, like setting up job shadows and helping me find a career path. From the Army to being shown the more business and economic path, you pushed me very hard to be the best person and student I could, even when I was commonly distracted by food or video games. Thank you for the trips you have taken me on and exposing me to different parts of the United States, from New York to San Diego, to Hope and Grace. I can't wait to see you grow into the beautiful woman you will become. Daniel, I have grown up with you for my whole life, hence why you are my brother. You caused me a lot of pain, like smacking me with a lightsaber and getting me in trouble for things you did. But in the end, you will always be second. Mr. Limbick and Mr. Kittleson, you have been my Pathfinder leaders for 6 years, and you have seen me grow up spiritually and physically. You have watched over me when I got scared when my parents were not there for bedtime, to being in 4th year, TLT, and telling kids it is time for bed. Thank you for shaping me to be a better person and leader. My good friend Aiden, you have been my friend ever since I got here, and we talked about our mutual love for civilization revolution. Then following you into 6th grade. Even though we go to different schools, thank you for continuing to be my friend. Thank you to all the people I've mentioned and others I have not. Contribution is not forgotten. The path to graduate has been hard at times, but all the people mentioned and not mentioned have helped me get through all my trials and graduate. Thank you.
For that time, I put a hole in Micah's old bedroom wall, and then I hung up a canvas I painted on to hide it. Oh wait, no. It's been 6 years and you still haven't noticed. Anyway, Mom and Dad, I just wanted to thank you for always supporting me in 4-H, buying all my animals and equipment. I could not do it without you. Dad, thanks for always fixing my car when she needs fixing. I don't know how to do it. And Mom, thanks for always calling me out of school for illnesses ranging from headaches to senioritis. To my siblings, thanks for always being people I can talk to. To Sav, who always listens to me and gives me advice when I think the world is going to end. Micah, listening to my endless rants. And Chad, even though you don't hear my hour-long rants, thanks for being the coolest older brother and giving the best hugs. I could not imagine my life without you guys. Micah, I can't wait to see how you grow up and what you decide to do in your future. Love you guys so much. Grandma, you always had eyes in the back of your head and never let me do anything fun when I was little, like riding my bike down the moving truck ramp into the dumpster when we were moving to Nebraska. Or always yelling at me and all the cousins for ruthlessly wrestling in your house. Thanks for always looking out for our well-being, even when we thought you were just being boring. Grandpa, thanks for teaching me everything you know about horses and always saddling up Patches for me to ride when I was little. Oh, and that one time I helped you saddle break Houdini. That's one of the funnest memories I have with you, and I blame that experience for giving me endless fascination with bull riding. And of course, sharing your love of honey with me. Grandma and Grandpa, you're my favorite people to visit. Thanks for all the birthday and Christmas money and the donations to my various mission trips. Love you guys. Alexa, thanks for always being there when I need someone to talk to, whether as my friend, coach, or Pathfinder leader. You are one of the most admirable people in my life, and you mean much more to me than you could ever know. Love you. Lauren and Kaya, thanks for helping me through high school. From helping me with my homework to, in some cases, doing my homework for me the night before the quarter ends while I'm crying in the corner regretting all my life choices. But you aren't just people I went to high school with. You're my best friends, and I couldn't ask for anyone better. From the nightly silo runs to the Walmarts at 2 a.m., I love you guys the mostest, and I can't wait to see what life has in store for us. And to the rest of my class, thanks for growing up with me. We've become more like siblings than classmates. And even though we argue all the time, I love you guys. Speaking of arguing, the Irish definitely could have survived the potato famine.
Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for all the trips to Disney where we would all be completely dead from exhaustion from the long hours of waiting and eating those free candies in line we would only buy for those trips. Mom, thank you for listening to how much I hated wearing those stupid tights to church and for agreeing to let me get my first tattoo on my birthday. Dad, thanks for always helping me with math homework, which took us into the early morning hours sometimes. Thank you for playing video games with me until we realized how late it had gotten. I always hated putting down the controller after our little gaming session. And Maddie, the pain in my backside, my very own Disney adult, stuffed animal hoarder, and snow globe enthusiast. Thanks for always being there to talk about how unfair Mom and Dad were to us when they said no ice cream after dinner or making us take naps after church when we were younger. We may argue a lot about absolutely nothing, but I'm grateful for it. To all my other relatives who I don't have time to name, thanks for all the birthday and holiday cards you guys send. I always look forward to receiving them. To my classmates in Lincoln who still drive me insane regardless of which state I was in, and to my friends in Georgia who probably won't hear or see this, but they know how much they mean to me. Thank you all. Thank you to all of my teachers over the years, mainly for putting up with me. To my basketball coaches for always pushing me to do better and play for more than myself. Alexa, thanks for letting me live with you over the past few months and for putting up with my lack of cooking knowledge. And this may sound stupid to some, but those who know me know how much my dog means to me. So, thank you, Gotham, my baby boy, my literal child. Thank you for getting me through the hard times, specifically for letting me hold you like an actual infant. You may not be the most obedient dog in the world, but regardless of that, I still love you. Lastly, I want to thank those who aren't here today, for any reason at all. Valeria, thank you for getting me as far as you did before you left. I only wish you could have been here by my side, and our other friends today, but I understand your reasons. I wouldn't be here today without you. Thank you for everything. And the "it takes a village" saying is actually true.
To Mom and Dad, thank you for always encouraging me to be myself and supporting me through all the crazy and sometimes weird situations I get myself into. I love you both so much. Dad, thank you for always trying new things with me. From trying different restaurants to archery classes to trying rock hounding, you are always up for an adventure. Mom, thank you for always encouraging me in whatever I want to achieve. No matter what it is, I can always trust that you'll be there to listen to what I have to say and help me work through any problem I might run into. Jasmine, thanks for all the tea sessions we have had and for letting me steal your sweaters. Chloe, thanks for always having the most thoughtful cards and notes. I always look forward to finding them. Grandma Jerry, thanks for all the hand-me-down clothes and inspiring me to sing more. Thank you for encouraging me to pursue music, Grandpa Mike, and for finding a great flute for me to play. I really enjoy playing it with you. Grandma Diane, you have always had the most amazing grapes, but you have even better hugs. Grandmama and Pop Pop, thank you for always being willing to drive me places when I can't do it myself. I have also had so much fun doing crafts and activities with you, especially decorating cookies and making the skirt. Cadence and Chandler, you are the best cousins ever. I loved having all those sleepovers that we somehow persuaded our parents to let us have. Jesse, thank you for listening to me talk about my random hobbies and for giving the best advice. Carol, thanks for getting me into random shows and having the best energy. You always have the best ideas and I miss having school with you. On, thanks for being the best friend and study buddy. I love your sarcasm and you always are able to make me laugh. Thank you, Pierce, for being willing to take over sponsorship of our class, even though you have so much other stuff on your plate. You do so much for our class and have made our senior experience the absolute best. Thank you to all my teachers for putting up with my antics, and finally to my lovely class. You have really started to feel like family in these past 4 years, for both good and bad reasons. I'm going to miss you all.
Mom, you have done so much for me. I love spending time with you. One of my best memories is when we went to Colorado a few years ago. I had an amazing time, and I love that I got to spend the trip with you hiking and driving through the mountains. Spending time with you is something that I really enjoy because we have a lot of the same interests. Some of my favorite time that I get to spend with you is that we are always watching movies together. We make popcorn and get candy and watch whatever movie we want. I thank my friends for making the last 4 years of high school so amazing. I have loved hanging out with you guys. Usually we are just able to hang out and talk during study hall, but some of my best memories I've made is when we go to the mall and the zoo. I have also had a lot of fun talking about Marvel movies. We are obsessed with them, and I could always count on a fun conversation with you guys about it, whether it was talking about the movies or arguing about who was better, Iron Man or Ironheart. Grandma, you have been living with us for the last 4 years, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. I didn't see you very often before you came and started living with us. I have gotten to know you so much better now. I love listening to the stories that you tell. It is interesting to learn more about our family and how you grew up. Jax, you are an amazing dog. I got you for Christmas about 3 years ago when you were just a puppy. Now you have grown up and are one of the best dogs I know and are one of the best gifts I have ever gotten. I love going on walks with you and buying you new toys. Aunt Steph, I am so happy that you have been coming to visit more often. You have come to Lincoln to spend time with us so much lately. You have come here to take us to concerts, and thank you so much for that. It has been great to see you more lately. Kristen, you have always been so much fun to hang out with. I love coming to visit you and seeing Huxley and Milo, and I am excited to get to know you, new baby Goldie. Nick, I am so glad that you are my brother. You are a really great teacher and have helped me with a lot of my homework. You have also taught me more about history than most of my teachers. I remember that we used to have so much fun playing video games and watching movies together. Erica, I am so glad that you and my brother got married. I have enjoyed getting to know you these last few years. You are going to make an amazing nurse, and I hope that you enjoy your job.
I have learned so much from each and every one of my family members, and tonight I am honored to highlight a few of those people and some of the important lessons they have taught me. First, Mom. Mom, you are one of the strongest people I know, and I am so lucky to have you in my life. You've gone to such great measures for me and all of your kids, and you deserve the world for it. Also, let's never stop watching Friends together. To my mom, who taught me how to persevere, thank you. Next, Dad. Dad, my love for running, snowboarding, and adventuring outside is all thanks to you. Although we had a minor mishap during our last snowboard outing, the powder was worth it. Anyways, many of my happiest memories have been made with you, ones that I will never forget. To the man who taught me how to explore, thank you. Nana, you've always known how to put a smile on my face, and your hugs are hard to beat. You'd never let one of your family members go hungry, even if it meant you did, and I am honored to be one of your many grandkids. Thank you, Nana, for teaching me how to love. Graham and Gramp, if anyone listening is in need of tips on how to travel the world, these are your people. Thanks to you guys, I've been able to partake on quite a few unforgettable adventures, but more than that, the sacrifices you two have made for me and the love you have always shown me has helped shape me into the person I am today. Graham and Gramp, thank you for teaching me how to give. Papa, you are definitely one of the wisest people I know. Your knowledge on things like cars and history will forever baffle me, and I admire you for that. I wish I loved museums as much as you do. Thank you, Papa, for teaching me how to learn. Raina, you are like my sister. The years that you lived with us were definitely some of the best years of my life. We have made so many hilarious memories and inside jokes that only each other understand. You are like my other half, Ray. Thank you for teaching me how to smile. Big shout out to my younger siblings, Ezzy and Luca. You guys mean the world to me, and it's been so amazing watching you two grow up. I can't wait to see what you will both accomplish in the future. Maybe break the record for the world's largest blanket fort. But whatever it might be, I know it'll be great. Thanks, Ez and Luca, for teaching me how to be a kid again. Lastly, Eli. I know you can't hear this right now because you're stuck in Germany, but that may be for the best because you'd probably be making me laugh up on stage in front of everyone. Anyways, even though we used to despise each other, you have grown to be one of my best friends. I can't wait until we can play Super Mario Bros. Again together. Thank you, Eli, for teaching me how to laugh.
To my mom and dad, thank you for never giving up on me and teaching me everything I know about race cars, money, and everyday experiences. Thank you for everything, and thank you for helping me graduate. Mom, I want to thank you for raising me the way you did. You taught me everything I know about responsibility and taking control of situations, and I can always count on you to give me the best advice on what I should do. And I appreciate that you've always had so much trust in me to make the best decisions for myself. Thank you for always being the one I come to when I have a problem in school, and thank you for going along with it and making it sound as dramatic as I think it is in my head. I also want to thank you for putting up with me and my friends throughout my childhood. From being a chauffeur to 6 really annoying middle schoolers on my birthday, to me asking you to come pick us up at the most random times, I'm thankful you put up with us. I know we were really annoying. Dad, I want to thank you for always staying up late with me during the summer. I love spending hours in the shop working on cars, talking about money, racing, people, and whatever else we can think of. Even though we are both extremely sleep deprived, some of the best conversations are had out in that shop. And I want to thank you for always helping me figure out solutions to my problems. From college to my business, it is so easy to talk to you because I know you will always help me think it out and give me a solution. Amber, I want to thank you for keeping my life interesting. From weird guys you meet at the gym to hearing gossip about your old friends from high school, I'm always interested in whatever you have to say. I also want to thank you for letting me wear all your clothes, use your hair tools, and giving me trinkets you don't want anymore. And I want to especially thank you for pushing me to race harder. Whenever I see you in front of me on the track, I try my hardest to catch up to you and pass you, which I have done once. Riley, I want you to know that I appreciate everything you have done for me the past 3 years. I have grown so much with you since my sophomore year, and I would not be the same without you. I want to thank you for always supporting me, especially when I dragged you into helping my class with building the maze for Fall Fest. And thank you for letting me tag along to all your races. And I want to thank all of you for getting me into racing. I wouldn't have been able to do it without any of you. Thank you for paying for all the racing expenses, thank you for getting me to the track, and finally, thank you for letting me do what I love. I love and appreciate all of you guys. Kaya and Gabrielle, I want to thank you for helping me get through school. From all of our Target runs, wasting our money on food, and going to the abandoned silos, it is always fun with you guys. And to the rest of my class, thank you for always making things fun. There is never a boring day of class. I'll miss all of you.
I first want to start off by thanking Mom. Thank you for helping me clean my area and organizing my area and pushing me to get my work done and cooking every night and being the best mom someone can ever ask for and always wanting the best for me. Scott, thank you for being my gym support buddy and curing my boredom by playing video games with me and doing brotherly activities and whatnot. Dad, thank you for being the best comical relief I could ever have asked for, and also being the best role model and just being the best dad, always teaching me how to fix something when it broke and whatnot. Desmond, thank you for being the best friend I could ever ask for. You're the single reason I kept my sanity at CVA this year. Jack, thank you for always talking me through things and just being that best school friend. Keaton, always being the best friend and just always being there for me. And, you know, Uncle Jay, being one of the coolest uncles I have and always letting us come over to do farm things and screw around and whatnot. Aunt Lori, being the sweetest aunt I have. Aunt TC, being the nicest aunt I have. Woody, being my emotional support. And Sophie, being the best dog ever. And Simon, being the best cat ever. And that's all.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for all of the family and friends that can be here with us tonight. It's a blessing that they have helped us get this far. Thank you for promising to be with us in our journeys moving forward. You know us seniors are ready for change. Help us to remember to keep talking to you, Lord. Amen.